Thomas, we're back, my friend. You know what that means. It must be Sunday. It must be first call. How are you?
I'm pretty good, all things considered. I survived 18 holes of golf. I'm still alive.
18 holes of golf? Wow, I didn't get the nod. You must have played with some fine people, some people that are above the bat status. Who'd you play with?
Oh, yeah. Listen.
Lowly bat had to stay home, but who did you play? You must have played with some fine gentlemen, some lofty individuals. Some amazing men and women, I'm assuming.
Not only did I have to survive 18 holes of golf, I had to survive 18 holes of golf with Jules and Steve.
No, you played with the Mundo, Julie Mundo. How is that fine human being? Boy, when I grow up, I'd like to be just like him someday.
He was rocking the ponytail today. I would take a picture.
Nothing says summer in Chicago like Jules rocking the ponytail.
Yeah, so I didn't want to take a picture.
A little bit when he was putting?
Top knot.
Very sweet, very sweet. The dream team, Jules and Tom. Back man, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Jules and Steve. It was only a 5-hour round. It was a miracle.
5 hours of golf. That's awesome. Well, next time, hopefully someday you guys will invite me when you
don't you start your
you deem me good enough to play with you guys. I know it's hard to take sometimes, and that's okay.
I actually played good today.
I feel a little bit like Mitch King right now, but that's all right. No big deal.
I actually played good. I think you would have been.
You played good today?
Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I hit everything all day long.
That's awesome. Good. Yeah. You're back, baby. I'm back.
That's what I thought. I swear to God, I said I'm back. And then I didn't lose a ball at Seven Bridges. You know how hard that is to do?
That's awesome. That's phenomenal. Yeah. That's great.
Anyway, so it was fun.
And did you play together? Just the two of you as a bonding thing, or?
No, Mikey Butler joined us.
You guys make amends and everything? Everybody's cool?
No,
Jules resurrected. He's got no more COVID. He's fine?
He's fine.
He's fine. He'll be in the office on Tuesday, I'm assuming?
Bada bing, bada boom. But he said...
Awesome. Good. I can't wait to see him. I love having lunch with Jules.
He would be in, but since nobody likes him, there's no point in coming in. Anyway, all right, Bat, I'm ready. I think...
How did Mikey Butler play? Did Mikey Butler take some of your money?
No, we were partners.
Oh, I thought you said you and Jules were partners.
No, me and Mike.
Oh, it was you and Mike against Jules and...
Slappy.
Oh, Jules and Slappy, I take them for 500.
You could have them for as much as you want.
Well, did you throw up balls to get those teams? Because they look a little lopsided.
Yeah.
Wow.
You threw up balls. Anyway, let's talk markets here. So
yes, well, let's talk markets, and then there's a lot of people want your Mavericks versus Suns pick. They want to know who the kiss of death is going to be. They want to fade you.
I'll give you all my sports picks tonight. There's
phenomenal. We got a bunch of game sevens. All right, let's see what's going on. You got Bitcoin a little bit higher so far Sunday. You got less than a minute before the market opens. Bitcoin 31,000.
30 seconds.
I'm assuming the market's going to open a little bit higher. NASDAQ, oil's down what looks to be, maybe it's up about 50 cents now. Even the S&Ps look to be up around 10.
Yeah, if you remember on the close on Friday, they sold off, about $5. And they were up about 95. They closed up about 80. They were up about 93, closed up about 86 or 87. So there was about a $5 markdown. You said they would
close over 4,000, and they did. 4,014. Oh. You're back, baby.
Yeah. Looks like they're going to open it about, like you said, 40, 26, 40. Well, right here.
Yeah, there you go. You got them.
There you go.
6, 7. NASDAQ's up around 30, 25, 23, 25, 22.
Yeah. It's
volatility in by 15 cents. Bonds down 4. I know we got Pete coming on. He's going to talk about bonds real quickly. Bonds 138.31, just under 139. Oil up 46 cents. Gold unchanged.
Yeah, people sometimes wonder why gold and bonds and things like that don't have big moves, on Sunday night. And I mean, occasionally, like crude oil did when the war was really heating up, but for the most part, those markets, you got to think right now, it's kind of the middle of the night,
Yes, I get you.
It's kind of the middle of the night, but at about like
You
2 in
mean
the morning.
overseas? Yeah.
At about 2 in the morning Central Time, and all the other markets start to open up around the world, like a 6, 7, 8 hour difference. That's when kind of the global markets start to heat up a little bit. There's a lot more, paper flow and a lot more liquidity in all these futures products.
It's 69 degrees in Chicago. You have no air conditioning. You have a flannel hoodie on and a golf shirt.
No. I got my air conditioning is firing. It's freezing.
Oh, really?
I do a job with Tesla.
Yeah, you're cold.
It's an ice.
Oh my!
Here.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I don't know what happened, but it's like an ice box. Anyway, I thought the way they closed them on Friday. So a couple things to just point out.
Friday was a big day, big update in the
sell
market.
Teslas?
Yeah,
very little two-sided action. They didn't close on their highs, but
pretty close, but not on their highs. But we're heading into a May expiration week. We'll give you some statistics on May expiration coming up. It tends to be quite a boring expiration historically. That's like Friday and Thursday into Friday.
yeah, but how many May expirations have had a 30 implied volatility? I'm assuming not many.
I don't think many at all. And the other thing about May expiration is it's not as lopsided up or down as some of the other ones. It's pretty neutral with a small bias to the upside. And so given the historical May expiration, just, not really overthinking this at all, but just given historically how May has been, I would say that if you were just the betting man and you wanted to say small bias to the upside, fairly slow week compared to what we've seen the last couple of weeks. I mean, don't you think at the middle of last week, the market kind of,
I mean, I hate to say capitulated, but yes.
Yeah, downside capitulated.
Yes, downside capitulation.
Yeah, I think
doesn't mean the lows are in. It just
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with you. I don't know if the lows are in either, but I felt like there was a certain number of stocks where it was just like, get me out. Just get me the freak out.
Sure. Stocks gap down after being down. Yes, it seemed ugly.
Couldn't buy an uptick. I kind of think that the culmination of that little capitulation that we're talking about, I kind of feel like it was Apple on Thursday. Remember when Apple couldn't buy an uptick and the market kind of looked like it wanted to rally a little, but Apple just looked like a pig?
Yeah, you're right. And it was only up $4.50 on Friday. I mean, after. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's 147.
After having a week where it started, down almost $10.
Did it trade under 140 to get into 139s?
Oh yeah. The low is 138.80.
Okay. So I kind of felt like, I think all things considered, I kind of felt like, the market made a stand. Volatility.
Remember pre-market Disney was down big. It was trading under 100.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying what I'm saying is I feel like we talked a little bit about this on Friday afternoon, but I felt like, volatility peaked out in the middle of the week and the prices are always a couple days behind. Prices kind of bottomed out by,
We
Thursday.
had a couple of days in volatility last week where market was lower, volatility really didn't uptick. It kind of stayed steady.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And I feel like, I mean, listen, if you were a nervous long, you're out. If you were a short, you've probably covered already. So
you would think you were kicking yourself in the butt when, it was going significantly lower because you never get the bottom.
I kind of feel like, we've all been in a situation where like we want to sell, but we don't. We want to sell, but we don't. And then all of a sudden they get to really low prices and we're like, screw it. I'm out.
Yeah.
I just can't take it anymore. And I felt like that was the middle of the last week was I can't take it anymore. And so I think we just got to prices where by Friday, and I thought about this earlier in the week. I was a couple of days early, but I thought the risk reward just wasn't there. Wasn't there playing the downside anymore. I thought it was that way in bonds. I think it's that way in the US dollar, which by the way, tonight, let me look and see.
You want to look at the euro?
Yeah.
Hey.
Euro's down small.
Yeah, there's not
Lovely.
really much of anything.
Okay.
And when I look around, I kind of feel like, hey, you know what?
Over here real
we
quick.
made a pretty good
And look at
short-term
this.
low last week, and I think volatility confirmed it. I don't think we're going anywhere to the upside, though. I really don't. I don't think we're going anywhere to the upside. I think it's going to be a crappy grind, sideways, maybe a little bit
This is
higher
based
for
on a
couple of
20-year
days,
range.
maybe we'll have a vicious sell-off or two in there. Maybe we'll have a vicious rally in there or something. But I don't think
And
we're going.
yeah, it shows
I don't think
May
we're going much lower near term.
pretty much flat.
I don't think we're going much lower near term either, but I think we might have
Down
a little
into
bit
the
more
third
of a bullish
week.
than you got planned, Saz. I mean,
And then up into June. So
do we need some good news
We'll
out of
see.
Europe, like in the Ukraine or anything like that, to kind of get this market?
I mean, we could use Putin dead. Yeah, I mean, if you want some good news, hopefully he dies.
Everything I read was he's not doing so well.
I mean, if you're ever rooting for cancer, root for it now. Like if we're ever rooting on, I mean, there's very few times in life. There's a couple of serial killers.
Mom, Big C.
Yeah, right. And every once in a while, you got to root for
Mouse
I
is
cancer.
acting up.
And
think we're gonna have a little bit of a better week this week. I don't know. At least that's how I'm set up. Well, hopefully, I'm right. For those
just the fact that they're saying he's sick means that he's probably close to dying. Because if he wasn't, if it was not anything else,
Either that or it's propaganda.
You got
Be
Home
total
Depot
bullshit.
coming out with earnings now this week coming. Walmart's also another one. Lowe's always follows Home Depot.
Yeah, Lowe's and Home Depot are counter trend stocks. They don't really play nice with the other kids, and so they're tough stocks because they're not. Yeah,
but Home Depot was a $400 stock starting the year, Thomas. I mean, it's in the twos now.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you look at some other stocks, we got a lot of $400 stocks that are in the.
Yeah, I mean, it's 300, 296 or so, but I mean, it's
yeah. No, I understand, but I thought Home Depot was ridiculous when it got to 300 the first time. If you remember, Home Depot was parabolic. It went parabolic to 300. It went from like 150 to 300.
Everybody was working on their house.
Fashion. And I thought the 400 was
During the pandemic.
crazy. But listen, who knows?
Yep, you're talking about right back here. Yep.
Yeah, right there, exactly. They didn't have a downtick for a couple of months, but it didn't go down after that. It continues to go higher.
Yep.
Anyway, look at this little rally here. NASDAQ's up. NASDAQ's
78.
Yeah, but that 78 is actually like 100 higher than where it closed, which is it closed at like 63 and it's 60 right now. And the S&P's closed at like 13 and they're 33. They're up it says they're up 14, but they're really up 20. So strong opening tonight.
Yes.
I haven't read anything on Twitter and Tesla over the weekend, so I don't know if Elon is in again or out. Or
violated
whatever,
the Twitter non-disclosure agreement.
Finnegan? I don't know.
By talking
Tesla's
about
up
the
about
bot
$7
thing.
that I can see.
Yeah, but that was on Friday afternoon
read.
after the close.
Right. And no, Twitter looks unchanged. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, no, hard to tell. All right, let's bring in the MOMAT.
Let's bring in the MOMAT, Mr. Pete MOMAT. Bring us in another
And now we're going to
direction,
talk
Pete.
about
Let's talk bonds, please.
bonds.
Pete, please.
What do you want to talk bonds about? Do you know? I think the only market that's kind of moving tonight outside the stock market, which is not going to hurt us at all, is crude oil is back over 111. Isn't this the first time it's gotten back up to this level?
Crude oil, I got 109. What do you mean?
That's July, Tony.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it depends which month you're looking at.
Well, what month
Let's
should I
see
be
here.
looking at? Pete, what month should I be looking at?
July.
Thank you very much. I don't know Sadov's trading the two-day future that nobody can trade. That's what.
Off for now. And let's see. Here it is. For the NASDAQ, well, it looks actually, yeah, it's up in May, normally, in the last week of May, into June, but who knows? Year's different, so we'll see. Average return 1%, 1.5%. What is happening out there? How's everybody's Sunday? Went to the grocery store earlier. That was fun. Spent too much money, of course. Impossible not to. Natural gas up 2.5%. What's a granny flat structure? I don't know what that is. Yeah, food is... Good time to... it's a good time to adopt the beliefs of breatharianism. You know, basically don't eat. Now, I closed a lot of my tabs because computer didn't like it. Small rental apartment on a single family home lot, dormer. So the tax break is to provide like affordable housing, or Netflix dropped for AMC. Pension fund bought AMC. Oh boy. They must know what's going on. You can't make this shit up. No, you can't make it up that stocks move together after a year and a half. Come on. Death of Wall Street cometh. Oh boy, okay. Inflation is bullshit. The coronavirus pandemic is bullshit. The war between Ukraine and Russia is bullshit. Higher gas prices, higher food prices, higher interest rates. Nothing is scaring the hodl investor. After all, aren't you doing what the sage Warren Buffett has always advised? Buy. Be greedy when there's fear. I have 100% confidence that there are AMC investors here who are 1,000 times smarter and more sophisticated than the average fuck who has privileges on Wall Street. And those Wall Street fucks have been doubling down no matter how much more the small investors fight to beat them. The game has gotten so lopsided and unsustainable that the Fed has to intervene. I mean, okay. Bottom line, the more Wall Street cheats, the more the retail movement grows. And if Wall Street bankrupts the market to get your money, they will have shot themselves to death in the process. Nobody in the world will trust Wall Street. You go down, they go down. Yeah, don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Obvious expert 007. Obvious. Obvious expert. Cost to borrow is up to 1.9%. Guys, holy shit. 1.9%. Okay. If the SEC would just charge the market makers and hedge funds for each trade they make, this could reduce the ping pong, barcoding, and other manipulation we witness in AMC stock daily. Let's see here. So much greedy you can be when it keeps dropping. Yeah, you know, I was thinking the same thing earlier. I was watching a video by, I don't know, one of these financial influencers, not an AMC one. Graham Stephan, that's his name. Can't stand him. Can't stand him. But I like to see what those guys are saying when sentiments are high. So I check out some videos once in a while on a Sunday. And I was looking at the comments because he was saying, "Oh, you know, it's a good time to buy the dip, and what happens after blah blah blah." And the sentiment in the comments was like, "Yeah, well, I can't buy the dip if I've already, you know, if people have lost a lot of money, then, you know, how can they buy the dip? And they can't take profits. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. I think people will always invest in Wall Street. I mean, the thing is, like, just get better. Or change what you do. Like, if you can't actively trade, or if you always lose money actively trading, then maybe don't do that. Or look at your overall approach and say, okay, am I trying to pick the direction of the market and I'm always wrong, or am I trying to identify the trends and I'm getting that wrong, or like, what's the problem? Or to switch to a buy and hold mentality, but not on individual stocks. Go with index funds or something, but I wouldn't be telling people to buy the dip. Oh, a post on here. 11 trillion. Oh, stock wipeout. Okay. Here it is. Help me understand. Future whales here. Hello. My freaking mouse is jumpy. Wall Street could go down. It would have happened. That entity is untouchable, period. I don't think I would agree. I mean, I don't think I would argue with that. Sorry. I don't think I would argue with that. So we can all borrow shares and short AMC. I don't know how easy it is for retail to borrow. I don't know how. I don't know. But assuming you can, I believe the manipulation is how people are able to make money. And I think, you know, it depends on what does one consider manipulation? Does that mean throwing your weight around? In other words, you have a lot of money, so you can buy or sell a lot and influence the market. That could be considered manipulation, but you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just somebody decided to, you know, do this, or a lot of people decided to do this, go this way. That certainly happens all the time. It's just part of the market. But now I think the apes generally are talking about a different conceptualization of manipulation. Like, Ken Griffin is sitting at his desk controlling the price or something like that. I actually don't know what they think because it's just manipulation. That's what you hear, manipulation. But okay. I might buy AMC tomorrow. How is everyone so sure that the hedgies are trapped? Could they not just slowly cover by walking the stock down and covering simultaneously by creating spikes like Friday? Not a bad question. And then the top answer. Nothing on this sub is intended to be financial advice. That being said, don't be a bitch. Buy and hold. I like my stock. It wouldn't surprise me if we found out that 75% of the accounts on this subreddit are fake. Are bots, shills, whatever, not individual investors buying and holding AMC. That wouldn't surprise me. Because who acts like this? Who acts like this? Don't be a bitch. Buy and hold. Yeah. Okay. Great. Of course, we could all be screwed and robbed of everything, but where the fun really lies is within the mass amounts of cash hedge funds are losing. How do you figure that? Mass amounts of dark pool trading compared to larger cap stocks. Yeah, because retail trades on payment for order flow brokerages that go off exchange. I mean, I can't believe that I can't believe that they're still hyping that. Don't use fucking Webull if you're concerned about that. The FUD and bots, the cheap, scary option chain, all of it shows that apes are onto something. No, it doesn't. That's classic confirmation bias, or just generalized cognitive bias. It's like a combination of a lot of different ones, which is what you see. Yeah, okay. So Future Whale, I don't see anything wrong with it, but that is what most retailers complain about. Yeah, and the thing is, if you can get on the right side of that type of stuff, it could be good. It requires, not having a bias, or being able to release your bias, or just, going with whatever happens, which I know you guys know, but not everybody knows that, or can think that way. Good luck with AMC. I mean, I like I said, I hope that works out. And just be careful about the implied volatility of AMC options. All right, we can take a look at it here in a second. Actually, I'll pop over there now. This week is the monthly expiration. Okay, so that's a good illustration. So the puts are around 200. The calls are around 187 at the money. The puts, even though there are fewer in the money strikes, it goes up to 833%. The calls have a lot of out of the money. The calls have a lot more out of the money strikes, and it only goes up to 562. Okay, just for comparison's sake. And then we go to June 17th, and we can see that it is at 149 for the puts, 144 for the calls, and the maximum is not as high. So something to think about, you know, going further out in time. Further you go out, the better that becomes, and will be less sensitive to changes in implied volatility. So these weekly these expiring this week could have a lot more crush potential than the further out ones do. In mind. What was that? Is that the MOAS right there? Was that it? Friday aftermarket went up to 1220. That's it. That's it, guys. It's over. There you go. By July. Yeah, that is a better idea than buying the ones. Let's see. You can make good money on options on AMC, but you have to time it right. True. But yeah, I mean the back. The what's it called? The actually, you know what? I haven't looked at let me go back and look at Friday. I wasn't really looking at AMC much last week for this. So I'm not sure if the option volume has picked up at all. I know, weren't people saying no options may on Reddit and stuff? No options may. Seems to be a decent amount in calls. I mean, not enough to do anything like gamma squeezing and all that stuff, but so this would be for Friday here, and so we're looking at the call implied volatility for all these expirations, different lines. I don't know why it doesn't show the legend, but this week is the magenta one. So there were 4,600 145 calls traded for July on Friday, and there were 1,000 145 calls for next January traded, and decent amount at 60. That's 15, 12,000. We don't know how many people are still holding those. Could have just been traded that day, so we don't know till tomorrow. June calls up 47%. And a May put up 104%. Let me see here. So this is just generally overall, but so you've seen implied volatility go from like, I don't know, let's just call it the 120s. And now it's up 175 and was down a little bit on Friday. So yeah, I would think about, if I were in that situation, holding long calls and puts, I would think about rolling out or taking profits soon, because this could, especially being this being a monthly option expiration week, you could see this come down more. So what was last month's was the third week, so that would have been second. So here's second here. But you can see, you can see a kind of a trend if you look at the implied volatility curve. So just something to keep in mind, because that that's one thing that I think the apes gripe about is volatility and options, because they don't really understand it. I just don't want to see anybody. Well, okay. What I've always known and been told and advised people is, if you see decent profits on an option position, you don't want to see it go away. Options are fickle, so always be closing. Always be selling. Kind of way to put it, but anyway, that's good though. Awesome. Very good. Yeah, especially when you think about, and I don't know when these positions were added, but this was last June. Other peaks in volatility were here. Okay. And it's already kind of reversing here. Is it likely to go up more there, the volatility? I mean, it could, but, more than likely you're looking at the downslope there. We're seeing it kind of in general in the market though too, right? Volatility going lower, continuing to go lower. That could change though. So, here, this is the typical shit. There's a ton of great DD from the past year on the main page. It's been an organic growth. As more and more DD and proof have come forward, it will give you actual proof, theories, ideas regarding why we're so sure and exactly what we're fighting against. It will give you an idea of why things happen and don't, and honestly, a fair amount of it will likely piss you off. But if you read it with an open mind, it will allow you to make an informed decision and give you a crash course in many areas of the market and investing in general. Ugh, it seems so wrong to read that. Then you can make your own informed decision from there. It will take quite a while to get through, but it will definitely give you an enormous amount of info. It will also show you why we are fully, completely, utterly zen and confident that this can only end in one way, with hedgies fucked and apes winning. Referencing a ton of posts called DD, some may be, most aren't. As fast as this stock fell, long-term holders have to sell once the year was up for taxes. I'm sure most of them made some good money. 0 points. Of course. If we don't sell, they can't close. Apes own 90% of the float. They can make it appear that they are, but we know better. Retail is selling 0.07 to 0.7%. Jesus. Very specific. Want to get out before that time decay really picks up. Model 3 dudes here. Model 3 dudes here. Good evening. Market Gains channel posted a video about lawsuits and Terra Luna coin. Lawsuits about the Terra, about that crypto thing, I'm guessing. I don't know what the that could very well end like all the Citadel lawsuits, all the Robinhood lawsuits. I mean, I'm pretty sure that even though there's a lack of regulation in a lot of those crypto markets, the exchanges themselves have terms of service. I would imagine that they're, not going to be liable, and then probably the same. I don't know. I would think that they would have, tightened that up, because generally you can't. It's hard to recoup losses like that. I mean, I'm not saying it can't be done. It has been done, but if there was some kind of illegal activity, or something like that, maybe. I'm also not a lawyer, so let's see. At least 90, 9 times the float. How do we know this? Are you essentially saying they are walking the stock down on their own so they don't get margin called? Which would eventually happen. I mean, no, it wouldn't eventually happen. They are manipulating the price to try to force us to sell. They hoped when they let it run, we would sell. Then they dropped way down low to make like the squeeze already happened. Then they have tried every kind of psych ops in the book. Piss ops. P-Y-S-O-P-S. I like that. Nope. And soon enough we will see the real price. But if we don't sell, they still can't close. If they can, this is all these classic questions. If they can manipulate the price at will, then how does this end in favor of retail? What stops them from being able to manipulate the price indefinitely? And there's no responses to that, really. Nobody has an answer to that one. Why not? Nobody has an answer to that. Well, the price is manipulated, guys. It's manipulated. Okay, so it's manipulated. What's going to ever change that? If you believe it is manipulated illegally somehow, then what would ever change that? I don't know what they think would. Let's see, do I have... Better start an OnlyFans. Yeah. Yeah, not most most of the crypto people, no offense, but not really. They might not be great OnlyFans material. Now they could start a YouTube channel, pumping AMC. That's the best way to make money with AMC. Let's be honest about that. What's the best way to make money with AMC besides short selling it? Pumping it on YouTube, of course. Yeah, they hold 50%, not 90%, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I hesitate to say this, but you know, if you saw the news, some of the things that happened in the news this weekend in terms of acts of mass violence. All we need is for it, you know, to come out that some of these people were involved in this stuff. I'm not saying that's been said or anything, but we talked about that the other day. How I think that, you know, the danger is that this will cross over into the real world. So I hope it doesn't. I really hope it doesn't. 90% of the float is owned, and there's 30% short interest. I mean, you'd have to be do some DD. They have 10 to 100 times the float in fake shares. They pay interest in daily. Okay. They can run it. Why would they pay interest on fake shares if they haven't borrowed them? Okay, that's one thing. That's stupid. I mean, pre-COVID is 20 to 30 bucks a share, not to mention MOAS. It's a sale like crazy. Well, yeah, well, everything's not going back to where it was before COVID. That's not a great way to think about it. There's lots of chart evidence supporting most of the claims we've made over the last year, but the biggest confirmation I see is the FUD. If short hedge funds were in a position where they could win, it would have happened quietly, and tons of investors would have lost money, and aside from Reddit, you wouldn't have heard about it. Mainstream media have been saying shit like the squeeze is over or meme stocks are dead for ages now. That's all the proof you need. Jesus Christ. If they could have found a way out and won, they would have done so ages ago. Yeah, really? What about the 86 million shares that have been covered in the last month and a half? What about that? I mean, this is a bunch of dudes in their 20s who have no clue what they're talking about, are full of testosterone and probably THC. And just, you know, have spent fake money that really wasn't theirs. Oh my God. Yeah, let me go ahead and pick up 31 shares. Let me get another 13 shares. Cool. My best friend said people will watch me because I'm very entertaining. I need to start that AMC hustle. I'm going to tell them what they want to hear. AMC going to 500,000 a share. You know, I'll give you a pass. I won't, I'll, you know, let you, you know, I won't cut you down. I won't interfere. We won't cross paths. Probably work though. Thomas James posted a video about AMC. We'll just squeeze in June. Oh man. No, they were ridiculous. Well, they all are. Bullshit rationale. You know, THC Model 3, dude. That's the magic ingredient. Secret ingredient. The secret ingredient is weed. They are about to cover. Yeah, you've said that like 6 times. The ironic thing is they have been covering the whole time, so. It's weird how not all the videos show up in my search results. I don't know if that's because of me or if it's YouTube is like changing things or I don't know.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone.
Let's see. I mean, just looking at these titles. Will AMC fall below 10? Retail blamed for market crash. Really? Massive dark pool margin calls happening right now. Shorts running out of shares. Don't be fooled. The market is crashing. Melvin Capital liquidating fund. I wonder how many times he's talked about Melvin Capital. Three months ago, Melvin Capital was selling everything. 12 days ago, Melvin Capital liquidating their fund. 3 months ago, Melvin Capital is about to be liquidated. 3 weeks ago, Melvin Capital is going bankrupt today. 3 months ago, the DOJ is investigating Melvin Capital. 2 months ago, Melvin Capital was done for. Ridiculous. Which one is it? I posted it 3 minutes ago. Okay. I mean, which one is it in terms of like, have they been liquidated? Have you know, how can it be all those different things? Can't be. Why don't I see it? Oh, maybe it's this. Here it is.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone.
Well, AMC is most likely to squeeze in June. I also want
Now
to
this
give a
is
bit of an
interesting
update.
because last night I watched after the stream because I'm, you know, have no life. I watched a video by Al from Boston, and he had this whole timeline that he put to, even he haven't had it on written on a calendar. He had a calendar like on his Excel or a PowerPoint presentation. He had this whole timeline of when, and it was centered around GameStop because of the dividend catalyst. So I wonder if this is somehow related to that, or I mean, it's kind of curious that he comes out with this video. Al comes out with this video talking about June. And then, you know, other grifters do too. Maybe not, though. Maybe it's independent. Maybe he independently came to
on
this
the
conclusion.
current market crash and how crypto is likely to amplify that crash over the next week or two. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, Unusual Wells tweeted this photo, I believe from CNBC, that really puts the recent market conditions into perspective. CNBC aired this photo showing the NASDAQ has currently lost more value than in the dot-com crash. Back in the global financial crisis of 2008, the stock market lost $2.3 trillion in value. For the dot-com bubble around 2000, the NASDAQ lost $4.6 trillion. During the pandemic sell-off, the NASDAQ lost $4.4 trillion, and right now in 2022, the market so far has lost $7.6 trillion. But I think it's also important to remember in terms of percentages. Yes, $7.6 trillion is a much larger figure than $4.6 trillion back in the dot-com era of 2000. The percentage decline so far is still much smaller. And therefore, even though the cash dollar figure so far is larger, it's likely that we still have more crashing to do over the next few weeks and the next few months that, as I said, could be amplified by crypto.
What about the fact that the whole fucking thing is extremely overvalued, though? Like, yeah, we need to lose another 10 trillion in this. Oh my God, let's hype about it. But I'm sure this is somehow going to prove that the squeeze is going to happen. So, I mean, I have to just let it go.
So I tweeted this photo and said, "Bulls, this is your IQ test for the weekend. What do you think is going to happen starting next week?" Looking at this chart of the S&P 500, over the last 6 to 8 weeks, the market's fallen fairly drastically, with some minor pullbacks every other week or so. If I zoom in a little bit more, we can see the market started to fall, which was then followed by a small recovery. Again, the market continued to fall, and we had another small recovery. And so far over the last week or two, the market again fell, and believe it or not, over the last few days, again another small recovery. And again, if we look at this S&P 500 oscillator, each time we have that small recovery, the oscillator spikes, therefore suggesting the S&P 500 is likely to fall further over the next week or two. And as Bloomberg posted, they've said the Fed sure sounds as if it now expects a recession. They've said the central bank chief's confidence that the economy can avoid a downturn has taken a beating in just more than a week.
In the media.
As I pointed out in my video the other day, Jerome Powell's outlook has gone from a strong economy to factors that we don't control. Bloomberg have said, well, that was quick. In just more than a week, the US Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, has gone from expressing confidence that policymakers will be able to avoid pushing the economy into a recession while rapidly raising interest rates to control inflation, to remarking, as he did on Thursday, that a downturn is out of the central bank's control. Back on May 4th, Jerome Powell said it's a strong economy and nothing suggests it's close to or vulnerable to a recession. But obviously on Thursday, the other day, he said it may actually depend on rate increases of 0.5 percentage point each. Concoda tweeted saying the Luna and UST demise was not crypto's Lehman moment. It was the two Bear Stearns subprime funds going belly up just beforehand. The real Lehman is Tether. So you may say, Tom, isn't Tether absolutely fine at the moment? They're still managing to meet all of these withdrawal and redemption requests. Surely the coin is still stable and definitely hasn't depegged yet. And surely the developers aren't offering crazy interest rates, desperate to get people to reinvest into Tether so they have more cash to meet those investor withdrawals. But obviously, if we look at the Tether chart, at the start of last week, it had still regained it, bring investors interest rates. Finex is easy to use and very good for dollar and Tether deposits.
Oh, Dave Lauer
tweeted platform. Evan tweeted saying the CTO of Bitfinex and Tether just tweeted that Bitfinex is paying APRs in excess of 30% for dollar and Tether deposits. He said Bitfinex and Tether share the same owners and have combined funds in the past. He said Tether is the most important crypto. And as Dave Lauer tweeted, he said this seems like a really bad sign. It's the first indicator that I've seen that suggests there might be something systemic happening in crypto right now. Obviously, if Bitfinex is offering such massive interest rates for people.
But still nothing about AMC.
Many of those major US institutions have said that they don't hold any Tether cash. And as Doomberg tweeted, he said as a signpost, people in my feed defending 35% interest crypto products suggest to him that there's much more pain ahead. Obviously, 35% interest is an absolutely ridiculous interest rate to offer, which I think is even higher than the lunar system was.
So he thinks that that's a ridiculous interest rate to offer, right? But $500,000, $1 million a share is not ridiculous. Okay.
Offering just before blowing up and imploding. Therefore, for Tether to offer a 35% interest rate shows just how desperate they are at the moment.
Less than 2%.
Now, I also want to quickly touch on Executive Order 14032, explain a bit about what it is and how it can cause AMC to squeeze in June. So Biden signed an Executive Order 14032 replacing Trump's Executive Order 13959 last year. It said Executive Order 13959 prohibited financial institutions from using Chinese securities as collateral. Obviously, many of these US institutions have absolutely massive exposure to not only Chinese stocks, but also Chinese bonds and Chinese loans as well. Now, yes, some of these Chinese loans, especially in property developers, have recently hit near to default rates and therefore obviously can't be used as collateral. But many of these Chinese securities, like for example the NEO stock or many other stocks in the US stock market and many other loans, are still rated AAA rated. And they've said that Executive Order 13959 propped up the margin calls and prevented margin calls because of the large exposure of financial institutions.
It doesn't say prevented. It says propped up margin calls. Well, what does that mean? Propped up margin calls because of the large exposure our financial institutions have to Chinese securities. That doesn't make any sense. But
have to Chinese securities. So the original executive order was signed by Trump back in November of 2020 and obviously expired on January 28th, causing the first meme stock run-up. So Trump had originally signed an executive order allowing these Chinese stocks to be used as security to meet those margin requirements, but it expired on January 27th, obviously causing the AMC...
I thought the executive order prohibited you from using them. I thought it banned the use of these stocks as collateral. Isn't that what it did? That's not what he said. I don't think. I have to go back and listen because I was half paying attention.
Institutions have to Chinese securities. So the original executive order was signed by Trump back in November of 2020 and obviously expired on January 28th, causing the first meme stock run-up.
It expired on January 28th? Okay.
So Trump had originally signed an executive order allowing these Chinese stocks to be used as security to meet those margin requirements.
Allowing them to be used as security to meet the margin requirements. No, it prohibits them.
But it expired on January 27th, obviously causing the AMC...
And these securities were no longer... No, he's got it backwards. It was a grace period. It was originally signed in November 2020. And it went into effect on January 27th. That's when they were prohibited from using them. He's got this all fucking backwards. Jesus Christ.
Surge.
Joey, still here? You see the stupidity that is on display on the screen here? Do you see this?
But was then shortly amended or moved to May 27th, 2021. And obviously when that second executive order expired on May 27th, AMC again had its second surge, reaching an all-time high of $72 per share. And then obviously a few days later on June 2nd, Biden formally signed Executive Order 14032, which enabled those US institutions to use those Chinese securities as collateral for a further 365 days. That Executive Order 14032, which was signed on the... how it could cause AMC to swing.
Frank Nez! Oh, God. Frank Nez. Fucking shit. So, yeah, no wonder it sounds fucking stupid.
June 2nd, Biden formally too. So it says that Goldman Sachs estimates that US institutional investors currently hold around $200 billion of exposure to Chinese ADRs. So that's solely $200 billion of exposure to Chinese stocks, not including those Chinese bonds and other Chinese loans. And therefore, when June 2nd rolls around, that's $200 billion of exposure that these institutional investors will not be able to use to meet their margin requirements. And a small slip like that is likely to cause many institutions to not be able to meet their margin requirements, and is likely to cause their AMC algorithm to again slip up and cause another AMC run up. I personally am...
What? I mean... Jesus Christ. Nothing that you read said anything about an algorithm.
And cause another AMC run up. I personally am super excited to see what happens over the next month and what happens come June 2nd when these institutions can no longer use these Chinese securities as collateral. $200 billion of exposure solely to stocks of potentially upwards of $600 billion of total exposure is a massive amount of cash that can't be used to meet those margin requirements. And
maybe they'll use some of the fucking money that they made shorting these fucking piece of shit stocks. You know? Like they're out of money. Give me a fucking break, dude. Jesus Christ. Motherfucker should be kicked off YouTube. How dumb. That is dumb. Talking some crazy bullshit there. I agree. Okay, typical pattern here. Makes a move and then sort of just goes sideways. Natural gas is falling. But everything else kind of stabilized, so if I had to guess, this is my guess. I would say it'll go basically sideways, maybe down or up a little bit until in the morning. And then it will make a big move down because overall sentiment is bearish. Everybody's shifted to a bearish outlook. The media is all talking about bearish stuff. So the market will probably at market open tomorrow, it'll probably go down quite a bit, or it'll appear to. Then that will trick. It'll go down. It may even go. Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm just speculating here, but it may split this difference or something like that, and then that will trigger a massive short covering rally that will take it to like a swing high level that we haven't seen in a while. That's my guess. So, I mean, not that high, maybe. Yeah. It could happen. It could happen. Why the price jumped from 9 to 12 Friday? Short covering. Short covering. Easy. Short covering. You saw it in the whole market. To quote Tony DeNaro, bye bitch, bye Felicia, bye bitch. Yeah, when you learn how to respect people, then you'll be allowed back here. Go back to Reddit. where you belong. Go back to Twitter. Go back to any of the other 100 channels. Talk about your bullshit every day. Not here. Not happening. Not happening, my friend. Nope. I don't mind insults to me when you start talking about other people in the chat. No. That's where I draw the line. Because the apes have no facts. They have no facts. All they can do is go ad hominem, try to get under people's skin, keep promoting their fucking bullshit. Joey is going to lose everything. I mean, he doesn't even care. He doesn't care. He didn't earn that money. It wasn't his money that he spent on AMC, if he even spent any. if he actually even is in AMC. So really, I mean, don't miss Margin Call Monday. See what I mean? All the sentiment is turned to bearish. Now I could be wrong about my theory, but I don't. Oh my God! Can AMC stock reach $120,000? Oh, somebody said check out Lou's latest videos.
What's going on, my silly little motherfucker? Alright, listen. Sunday, I'm enjoying my fucking day, relaxing, but also paying attention to what's coming this week. Like I said in the Twitter post, it is not the event, but the conditions that are going to give us our money. Let me explain what's going on. It's finally dawned on a lot of people on the high up levels. We're going to have two world reserve currencies. I said it when Russia was starting to make deals for oil and rubles. Oil, gold, wheat, natural gas, it's all coming. India already lined up. The Middle East is lining up. China's already doing it straight across. That creates a little bit of problem for the little motherfuckers that we're fighting, because they need liquidity, money. Nobody wants to lend. Rates are fucking ridiculous. People are holding on to money. But people don't understand one little thing about this. The reason they're holding on to money is because, let's say I lend you out, I don't know, $10 million today. Okay? When I get that back, if I get that back, what's going to happen in that time frame? You know what's going to happen in that time frame? The money might be worth less if I get it back. The street is fucked up everywhere around it. So I just want to tell everybody, happy Sunday, enjoy, because what's coming, nobody can stop. Nobody can stop. Nothing. You can't inject money. You can't save it. You can't do nothing. It's done. Those motherfuckers on that side, they're done. That's why I'm sitting back and relaxing, because Judgment Day.
Okay. Oh my God. $2 cigar. Somebody, this was a while ago. Somebody was talking about Lou's Walmart t-shirts. Something like that. Like, it's always when there's, you know, some kind of market has gone down a lot, or the sentiment is really bearish, or the sentiment's really bullish, or there's strong sentiments, which one way or another. Because then you can just talk about what is causing that sentiment and tie it in with AMC, and boom, there you go. You get 5,000 views in an hour. Right? Jesus. Jesus Christ. Now, I want you guys to hear this, because so redonkulous. Look, Stock J was talking about beating $5,000 in June yesterday, and then today he's got a video about 120,000. What in the fuck? Like, these people have no, they don't care. They have no shame. They don't care. But right, we won. Yeah, you won. Just pretend like the numbers are going the opposite way. And, okay, I think his videos are getting delisted too. Because, you know, Google doesn't like that sexual harassment stuff. And, you know, don't feel bad about getting caught up in it. The important thing is that, you know, you've used the situation to learn more and improve your skills, which is more than most of the apes can say, unfortunately, you know. And it's a good lesson, and nobody can predict what's going to happen in the stock market, with any stock or the market in general. And you know, when everybody expects something to happen, you know, yada yada, all that stuff. But the fact that, you know, you can admit that and look at things differently, that's, you know, it's arguably better than if you hadn't, because you've learned all that stuff. You have that experience now, so you probably will be less likely to do it again. And I don't think that this is the end of this thing. Like, there will always be pump and dumps and you know, pumpers and all this shit. So I try, you know, to look at things like that.
Removal of Citadel as a market maker.
Okay, check this out. This is ridiculous.
Let's start with GME. This is what I see happening, forecasting it. If GME does the dividend and forces a short squeeze through those means. All right. So in June 2nd, 2022, GME folks are having their annual shareholders meeting, right? And they're doing the vote, right? It's a broad area vote, and it's cast among all the shareholders. It's already been approved from the board, Ryan Cohen and the gang. And if it's given approval by the shareholders, what would happen is their legal department would sit down and draw paperwork for a stock split and dividend. That'll take about 1 to 2 weeks just to
1 to 2 weeks, 3 weeks
issue it out in paper, and, you know, all that stuff. And I would say 3 weeks max, because it shouldn't take too long. It shouldn't take more than 3 weeks to draw out the paperwork, finalize it, and whatnot. Now, what would happen is immediately after that, actually during that time, an outsourced dividend company would be summoned. They would have a sit down and say, hey, this is what we...
Why?
We want to do. We want you to issue out a stock split, and we want to do an NFT or whatever. And
We talked about NFTs. Where does it say NFT? Did they vote on an NFT? I thought they voted on authorizing shares in anticipation of a stock split. They didn't actually vote on a stock split. It might even have to be voted on again once legal sits down and draws up the paperwork.
That company
Clown.
Would sit down with them and just go through them electronically and produce whatever product that they have. If they're doing NFTs, they're doing whatever, right? This is the way it looks like. This is the calendar as I foresee it happening.
Look at this.
You get the shareholders meeting going on the 2nd. Legal completes the paperwork by the 23rd. That's almost 4 weeks. It's I wouldn't count that. That's Thursday and Friday. 1, 2, 3, third week's done. Then GameStop orders DTCC to do the share count, right?
No.
The process.
No. I don't believe so. Why would they need to do a share count? They already know. Everybody, everybody. you can tell when he's bullshitting too, because he just like, GameStop orders DTCC to conduct a share count, right? Right? No, well, actually no. But okay, where's your source for that?
Starts the very next morning because this takes a long time to do. This is not a overnight thing, right?
Yeah, they have to, they have to count them by hand. They have to get each physical share, which don't exist, and count them by hand. Why? What?
Participant at DTCC,
sources needed,
but they're not like a market maker, so they don't get preferential treatment that degree. This takes a while. It gets codified on the board of GME, the board of investors.
Gobbledygook.
And becomes policy, company policy. Now I don't know how long, if it's just a one-time thing, and we don't certainly know, what the dividend numbers. They're saying 3 to 1.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible that GameStop could run, but ultimately, I think that both of these stocks are losers. That's my opinion, but it'd be one thing if this was last year, but the meme stock craze is over. That's the way I see it, and I think personally I think if we do see more downside in the market in general, a lot of those stocks will come back. I don't think the meme stocks will, personally. I think once the market actually does hit bottom, whenever that is, I think that's it, personally. That's just an opinion. But I mean, yeah. And the split could be that could be a nail in the coffin for GameStop too. Especially if, I mean, you have to look at this timeline that he's talking about here, because this is not it. Like, this isn't all of it. But
Kyle and I,
depending on how long this takes, it could be too late for the company and because of the economy. Like, they're talking about, a lot of the forecasts talk about the second half of 2022 really getting bad. And if that's the case, I don't think people are going to be going to their local GameStop to buy AMC microwave popcorn. I could be wrong. But we'll see.
I wouldn't see me as so much as Kyle. 7 to 1. It's potential because of the numbers that Kyle looked at. But when I see it happen starting in June, July, August, September, and sometime in September, early October, when the count is done, is when that dividend gets issued. But when that happens, the final count is done. You figure there's going to be buys for 3 months worth on top of what they've already been doing, what they signed for back in June, right? So if it starts on the 27th, you figure all of July, August, September, there's 3 months worth of shares they have to recount, and guesstimates and whatnot.
Why would they have to recount?
By that time,
the number of shares hasn't changed. That doesn't make any sense. But he's got to throw in there, people are going to be buying it in July, August, and September, because of the hype.
The number is going to be huge, massive, in the billions, and we know that because we've already done the math on there. So
right, okay, already done the math. It's going to be in the billions. Yep. Okay.
GME dividend is probably the safest way to do this, because if one goes down, then it's going to be a domino effect and it cascades, right? But we can expect treachery. We can absolutely expect it. In fact, I don't trust any of these guys, especially government, right? DTCC could be complicit with Citadel, which is a big client for them. They do a lot of business with them, right? They do a ton of business. The SEC could be complicit with both of them, along with the Fed. We don't know how far this thing goes, how deep it.
Yeah, we could go. It could all be colluding together. Who knows? I mean, we can't trust anybody. Jesus. Is this guy even actually from this country? Is he actually even in America? I don't know. What the?
It goes. Now, what are our choices? What can we do? Well, GME could order a federal judge to order the share count, could get the federal judge, because these two are functional.
Wait, hasn't it already happened though in the timeline? It's supposedly starting like in June, so I don't know what that means.
Even though this is a private company, right? This is a private company. They have fiduciary obligations. They won't have a good reason to do this. I mean, if you look back and you see what happened with Patrick Byrne and
here we go.
Overstock.
Yep.
That took them a couple
Overstock.
of months. It took them a long time, actually, more than 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. And if
Guess
that
what?
happens, DTCC.
Guess what? They had paper shares then. Yeah. So you can't compare something that happened 20 years ago to now. Unless you're a fucking fake financial influencer on YouTube.
If they say no,
Jesus.
they can just go to court and say, hey, it happened this time. They keep doing it. This is a pattern of misconduct by the DTCC because they're protecting their chums. It's a good old boys club with Citadel and all the SEC people. They're all friends and they're all, Wall Street folks. And they could legally order a judge, or they could get the judge to do it without a question. What happens if they do find naked short selling, the illegal activity, right? Well, let's say it. They do find it. They may not do
Of course,
anything.
yeah. Let's say they do find
That's
it.
something
Because
you
what
have
else are
to-
you going to say?
Kind of, it's a shit sandwich. We all have to eat it, and I mean that. Like, they may not do anything at all because
Yeah.
they do so much revenue. They have. And we're talking about a point right now where the entire financial industry.
If I were Citadel, I would
and it's
sue
gonna
the
get worse.
fucking pants off this motherfucker. Sitting here talking about illegal activity, removal of Citadel as a market maker, lose license, assuming that there's legal activity. I mean, come on. This is just garbage. This guy is garbage. Trash information. Ugh. I'm not asking specifically, but what area are you in generally, Antoinette? Are you in the like eastern United States or West Coast? Is your cost of living high where you are? Generally, because I'm in Ohio, and our cost of living is relatively low here, but prices are for everything are just through the roof, obviously. This Kyle person, chat with Kyle. The White House. I got 2 apes monitoring. I Coast of the United States. Okay. So it's probably more expensive where you are than where I am generally, but everything's more expensive everywhere. So, yeah. I mean, I don't really. I guess I don't really know a lot of people that are buying homes and cars anyway. But that, I mean, that I wouldn't. I believe it. Us, it was somewhere in the 450 range, I believe. It was not that much the last time I got it. It was like, I want to say it was close. It was like maybe even under $4. No, it was maybe like just over $4. But yeah, now it's back up, and that's probably going to continue, unfortunately. And I'm going to have to refuel tomorrow probably, so. Yeah. Oil is back up to like 111. An ETF. This is an ETF that tracks gasoline prices. UGA. That's wild. Let's see what the max is. And like a weekly or maybe even monthly. So you have to go back to, well, no, it goes back to 2008, and it is higher on here. So this would track the futures price, but friends buying Mercedes, BMW, and Porsche posting on Instagram. If they lose their jobs. That's very possible. Yeah, as an educator, probably safe. Now they're pulling out the know why you hold FUD. Know why you hold, guys, and you have to know why. It's not to make money, because you're not going to. It's to change. It's to change the market. You know, force them to do what you want them to do because you deserve it. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. And the fact that nobody could answer that question on that one Reddit post, that says it all, really. Yeah, everybody's leaving. It's not really that exciting of a futures market opening, really, to be honest, though. I mean, the commodities being up is not good. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there's the gasoline futures, but Levels are fairly high. Oh man, wheat. Jesus. Still all-time highs. So at what level do you teach at? Like grade school or high school or college or some kind of private education? Because nosy. What happens tomorrow? It looks like it's getting ready to make another push. We can probably assume that crypto is going the same way, because they're so correlated. Sometimes I do trade Ethereum on the weekends just so I can do something. But high school and college. Okay, cool. Specific subjects, or I mean, I would imagine just don't know which. Yeah, that wheat ETF is wheat. And yeah, this was the Ukraine invasion, and then it pulled back, and then I don't know what the catalyst is here. Why is it everything? But TradingView has it as a strong buy. So staying here until the MOAS. There you go. Well, you know, one thing is clear. These guys, the Hall of Grifters, will be here until the MOAS. We know that. Oh my God. And I realized I do have Tom Fudzulo on here. This video here with Ken Griffin, that's Tom Fudzulo, but it doesn't have his picture on it. So I threw him over here, but you know, whatever. Gotta have the picture. You know, I'm actually curious. What the hell is Roensch Capital saying these days? Real quick here. Looks like hype, though. Just from my initial hit, is looks like hype. I'm seeing monstrous, huge.
What's up, guys? What Roensch Capital? Listen, I'm gonna give you.
Whoa! Why do you have that autoplay on your channel like that? Yikes! Give me time to go turn it down. Disgusting. Warning. Recession. Funny detail here. He this was from, so this channel, this is him. This is before he started his AMC grift. His name's Nico Roensch. He's a real estate agent. That's what he does. That's what he did. Probably probably still does it, you know, let's say he probably does, but I watched this video.
Specifically.
So it's from June 2020. And they're sitting here talking about Zillow
Being a lead.
Right. So, okay, guys, there's a lot of frustrated buyers out there right now. The market is going crazy. We're going to leave that be. I know you all know that already. We need to talk about how the third-party real estate apps make their money and not becoming a lead.
But he definitely plays up the deepness of it now, because it's not as deep here. You hear
guys,
that?
so it's very frustrating looking on Zillow, Trulia, Redfin. I get calls all the time from my buyers who are looking on those third-party apps, and they say, hey, Nico, I found a house, and I'm already disappointed when they say that, because as soon as I pull it up on the MLS, he
definitely, you know, pumps up the bass, either naturally or like on his software, in my opinion, which I kind of always suspected, but it's just funny because everybody was wondering, you know, who is this guy? What does he look like? Blah blah blah. And he was on. His face was on YouTube the whole time. We didn't know it. What's one of those funny things? Anyway.
What's up, guys? Over at Wrench Capital. Today was just a monstrous day, and I think this signals somewhat of a shift, at least for a very particular corner of the market that we've been talking about a lot lately, moving forward. Now, I don't want to speak too soon, okay? But
I will.
Today,
but I will. I'll go ahead and speak too soon, though. I don't want to, but I will.
Felt like, to me, at least a little bit of a sentiment shift. Now, am I saying that we're ripping to the moon from here? No, please don't take my words out of context here, okay? But I think moving forward, today was a little bit of a sentiment shift.
Now, remember, I said I think it could be a fake out to the downside Monday, and then a massive short covering rally. But because everybody is now saying this, everybody's identifying, you know, not everybody, but a lot of people are identifying the sentiment shift to bearish, which I think is what he's going to say. I don't know. Maybe not. The market could just take a complete dump. So now I don't know. And also, Jim Cramer said, maybe we should look at what Jim Cramer said. Manuel's here. Mowing his lawn. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Doing it after 7 p.m. That, you know, very environmentally conscious of you, Manuel. At least that's what they want us to do here, usually. I don't even know if you can. Well, you don't have. No, Lynn doesn't have to worry about it because they don't have grass in California, right? Or they're not allowed to water it. Something, I don't know. Raining, huh? Yeah, no, it didn't rain. It did not rain up here in Ohio, but the climate's a little different in Florida, so yeah. Take his voice over stimulate and trade. Real voice. I have never heard his real voice. I wish that I could find the video where he actually does and people told him to go back. I just keep hearing about, I've heard about that. Is he even going to talk about AMC? Not one to update. So remember, I mean, I have calls and puts currently open on the NASDAQ. So one of my mistakes that I always make is I'm not sure about direction, so I cover both sides. And one side, runs on one side, and it runs on one side enough to cover the losses from the other side. So that needs a big move sometimes. So it goes down and makes the put profitable, and it covers the loss of the call. Okay. But my problem is I don't close it in time. And either because I think it's going to continue in that direction, or I'm at work, which I am. I'm at work and I'm not looking at my phone 100% of the time, or my computer, and I can't, I just literally miss it. But I can look at the the graph and see, oh shit, I should have closed that an hour ago and I would have been making money, and now I make money on the other side if it goes back up, but it may not go back down, so now I'm screwed because I don't know if it's going to go up enough to cover the loss from the put. So just have to, I guess what I'm saying is that even if the position doesn't run to as much profit as I want, like, it could go more. But I'm trying to close the positions in profit, and maybe it's not as much as I wanted to make, but it's better than losing. So hopefully that happens with your SPY puts, and you could, once you see it run up, if you see it run up, think about taking the profit there, especially if you have more than one of the position. That's the best thing to do. You can have like 3 or 4 of them. You can close 1 or 2, but also you have to think about theta and volatility too, because it could go back the same direction. If it goes down and then it goes up and then it goes back down, even if it goes back to the same level it was at, the contract's not going to be worth as much, because some theta has been removed, and likely some volatility has too. Now, it could have extra volatility, could go up, but it's just, the theta component is definitely going to be, taken out. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't want to say that, but there's not much else we can do. Which one are you talking about there? His real voice is funny. I'm going to try to find it, but I don't know how to find it. I don't know how to find it. Lou just... I have to leave at 8 o'clock, so... Now, see, I just searched for AMC, and I have the filter on filter sort by upload date, and this is the newest thing I have, is this Thomas James video. So weird. I don't know if that's me or... I'm not seeing the new... How are you getting them before me? That's interesting. I mean, not that I'm really that jealous. Don't get me wrong, I'm not jealous. I just... So, let's see here. A couple other channels that I have been looking at that I like, actually. One called tastytrade. This is a pretty good channel. There's 3 different analysts who do videos on here. I like Don Kaufman the best. He's pretty good. The other guys are good, but I like Don. This guy, SM Trader CA. This guy is pretty good. So mostly these are talking about the the overall market, but Sometimes they look at sectors and things like that too. So this might actually be a good thing to look at here.
And the market did not do.
So there are actually people who are worth listening to on YouTube.
Basis point interest rate hike, which the market was highly expected, and the market did not do much. It did went down a little bit. Then during the press conference, Jay Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve, was asked about the possibility of a 0.75% increase in the future.
So this is from, I believe this was that one Thursday when it ran up, or Wednesday, or no, it was 2 Thursdays ago. The 5th. It was the day after. I think it was after the Fed meeting.
And his reply was, "It's not in the card," and that sent the market zooming up. And as you can see from this daily chart here, yesterday the market went up almost 3% or close to 125 point. And it had a almost 160 point turnaround from yesterday's low. Now, the question a lot of people was asking, was that a change in the trend and reversing back up to new high, or was that something else? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you it was something else. So stay tuned. Now, here's a 3-minute chart of the SPY, the ETF for the S&P 500. Yeah. And the reason I'm using the SPY right now instead of the cash index, the S&P 500, is because the SPY, the ETF, has the volume, the trading volume on it, and the SPX, the S&P 500, does not have volume. So here what I have is the volume profile.
I guarantee you I can sum up Andrew Mo Money's margin call video without watching it. He's going to say that, and somebody should go watch it and check me on this, but he's probably going to say that the market's crashing, everything's bearish. Remember, like, sentiment has shifted to bearish, so uninformed investors have shifted to a bearish stance by and large, and the media. So, which means probably, it's not gonna do that. Oh, might have a issue here. Well, just took a big dump. If anybody, that might, I don't know what happened. And okay, I think it should be coming back now. And it was my fault, actually. After all, I was on the wrong connection. I knew that was going to happen earlier, and I forgot to switch it. But I have all indications now that the upload speed is restored and everything should be back on. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. Wait until somebody tells me that it is. But I think I'm hearing it. I think I can get it on my other computer. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Well, I'm gonna. I think so. Okay. I'm going to play the rest of this video here.
With the different price action and volume profile patterns, you could see in the future what sort of a price action is pushing the price up by looking at the volume profile. And the reason why I'm saying this is a short squeeze is, first of all, we have to understand institution or the big fund, they do not buy on market. In other words, they do not go FOMO. The only people that buy on market is the retailers. And also, there are those short sellers that they have to cover, scramble the cover, so they put market order to buy back the short, to cover the short. And that's what happened when there are market order moving the price up. There's not much volume that get transacted at different price level because it's basically just market order moving up, pushing the price up. So whatever the offer is available, the short cover will, the short will go and take that offer and cover the short. So it just keep on pushing the offer or the asking price up. And that's why you see very little volume going up. And here you see that there's a high volume area here, and that's where a lot of the sellers start to appear now, right? So that's where the seller come in, late long, start buying up here, and that's what set up for another thing that we call liquidation break. So you can see right here before that push up, a lot of volume was trading here, was basically trying to balance here. Then all of a sudden, it just made this surge and not much volume going up. And then once the short is covered, and there are a lot of sellers waiting to sell up here now. And also you got these late FOMO dip buyer coming in and buying near the top. That's the reason why it was a short squeeze rally, and the volume profile have clearly indicated that to us. That was this move here was due to short covering in most part.
Interesting. So I like this channel. I think we've talked about most of the other channels that I like. Kim is not bad. Everything Money we've talked about. Simpler Trading is a new one I'm checking out. Modern Options is a new one I'm checking out. Trade Brigade is a new one I'm checking out. So yeah, trying to see what other people are saying out there, and just take a general pulse of the YouTube finance space. But let's do something real quick here. Take a look at this. But my mouse, everything's falling apart here. My internet. First my mouse, then my internet, then my mouse again. Just, I need to make some investments in equipment, apparently. Okay, so let's take a look here at AMC. Let's go to 5-minute chart maybe, and then or do I have here to, we want one chart per day. save for this. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So this is similar, I mean, the opposite kind of a look as to what the other guy was talking about. The short selling, just straight up selling, but here on this, on Thursday, so this area is the 12, this is $12 essentially right here. So it makes sense that there's more volume at that region. It's one of those psychological levels they like to talk about. And then this is $11 right here. So so that's another one of those right there, essentially. Well, a little bit up more. That area. There we go. So, but otherwise, move this so like right there. But otherwise, we can see these. I know it's messy looking, but otherwise, we can see this all the way from 970, and it just blasts right through this low volume area, just blasts right through. Ultimately, it ultimately comes down and consolidates in this $11, but it blasts through this $11 range, through the $12 range, all the way up to $13.71. So, yeah, a new way to identify short covering. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I mean, not that any apes are going to actually believe that, you know, anybody can identify short covering, or that there is actually short covering happening. I mean, pretty much, yeah, all these just straight up moves like that, where there's low volume in that region, makes sense. See that all over the place. I mean, not even really just uptrends, but just big swings up. So Thinkorswim has, wow, yeah. Now we're on 15-minute candles here now, but it still works. Further. I never understood why you wouldn't want to know this type of stuff. Why people wouldn't want to know this type of stuff, especially if it like kind of contradicts the narrative that's being said. But you know, that's silly me. Shorts haven't covered, obviously. Obviously they haven't. So anyway, volume profiles in Thinkorswim and TradingView. It's not free. So it kind of sucks, but You have to have a premium account in order to get. And look, the market's reversing. Look at that. Would you just look at it? Because oil, no, that's, what is this? This is wheat, the wheat futures. I should have oil here. Okay, oil's consolidating. Natural gas is also. Close that that spreadsheet, but yeah, 86 million shares covered in the last month and a half on AMC, so you can see it. You can see it. Okay. You mean in AMC, Antoinette, or just in general? Because so the overall market had 6 weeks of down, 6 weeks of red. The past 6 weeks, so a lot of people are saying that's another reason why they think there'll be a balance in the market. So it's possible. It also could continue to be red for the next 10 weeks. You know, nobody says that it has to, 6 weeks and it must change. So, well, I'll say what I always say. We'll see tomorrow, I guess. I wonder what's going on. Natural gas. I wonder, because those can have short squeezes too. Okay, I really should work on finishing my laundry and everything, get ready for the week, so hopefully this was useful in some way. Alright, Antoinette is making the call. She is making the call. AMC and GME will start squeezing this week. This week. Which one? Which song? Which song do you want today? To the moon? Is that what you mean? To the effing moon? And I have to admit, I had that stupid song in my head this morning. God. I did. Not proud of that.
Going to the fucking moon. Going to the fucking moon. Going to the fucking moon.
So hopefully Lynn gets her job at Tesla this week.
Don't be mistaken, the apes won't be shaking or breaking. We're going to the fucking moon day very soon. Gonna wake up on the moon, brand new.
Fuck you, Kenny. I mean, it's a clever song. It's kind of cute. But not in a we're gonna be so rich, we're gonna be so fucking rich way. It's cute that they thought that, but because we never be selling. Fuck you, Kenny. God. You think these guys actually ever had positions in AMC? That's a question. Oops. Fuck Kenny, because we're holding on. I feel like Yeah, it's got a decent groove to it. The song's got a decent groove. It's got a decent feel. Got a nice bass line.
Today's expectation, probably more manipulation. FTD, a creation of a crooked operation. Bought more while it was low. Got more dips than Trader Joe's. Oh, you thought that we'd let go? What the fuck you take us for? Holla if you spend your last dollar on bananas while living in squalor. We don't claim.
Kind of reminds me of CeeLo Green a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we do this for love and we do this for honor. A follower 11 ain't got nothing on us.
CeeLo Green and Vanessa Carlson. It's a cross between those two. It's got that real poppy kind of sound to it too. Best turnaround story ever. Fuck Kenny. Here's my favorite part coming up. It's like they're troubadours singing. You know, I don't know. It's funny. Modern day guerrillionaire troubadours. Let's fucking go. That's funny. Well, you know, I can't let that go unanswered.
Roll another blunt, man.
Roll another blunt, man. These are good times.
You full of shit. Full of shit. Full of shit.
This was one of my best finds, I think, this song. Especially because YouTube's copyright thing didn't detect it, even though it is copyright. So, Afro Man, underrated, really underrated, in my opinion. I try to, you know, I try to please, you know. Try to please. But let me do this too, though. The Hall of Grifters stands strong. The Hall of Grifters will withstand the test of time. They can't kill Michael Myers. But what they can do is hype AMC stock. They'll tell you that there's millions coming, baby. And, you know, I think the moral of the story, without running the risk of being too philosophical, but like Jesus said, the kingdom, the city of God is at hand. He said, this is it. You are in the city of God. So I say, you already are rich. You already are rich. Anything you want, you can have. You know? Whether it's a thing or thoughts or relationships, whatever. It's all there, ready for you to take. And I kind of actually do believe that. You know, I never wanted to be rich. I just wanted to be happy. And I don't know. I put happy, greater than sign, rich. but you know, apes. You live in the most technologically advanced age that's ever existed. We have more available to us than we ever have had. We have instantaneous communication with people all over the world. And you can buy and sell anything you want on your phone that slides into your pocket at any hour of the day. I mean, aren't you already rich? Aren't you already rich? There he is. You know, and to this point about the Lambos everywhere, I said this before. If this actually did happen, which, let me be, I don't want anybody to think that I've changed, my analysis of it. It's not going to happen. Doesn't mean you're not going to be rich, even though you already are rich. Look at that, auto repeat, so I can keep rambling for a minute. Even if it did happen in some parallel universe, right? The number of pedestrian deaths in the United States, probably Europe too, would skyrocket because these apes, they have no idea how to drive a high performance car like that. So you would have people jumping curbs and sidewalks left and right. Well, Kenny told me to tell you guys that you all were going to be rich when I talked to him earlier. So clearly I have a bat phone here that has a direct line to Ken Griffin. And I did some videos on my old channel about Ken Griffin, and they didn't really go over too well. But he's a really interesting guy, actually. not because of anything, but he started a software company when he was in high school. I didn't know that. The classic story is he, when he was a freshman at Harvard in the mid-'80s, he installed a satellite dish on the top of his dorm so he could have satellite quotes to trade options. Which, in a weird way, seems like something that I would have done. I mean, I wasn't trading options in college. I also didn't go to Harvard. But I mean, I could just see that. And also, one of his first trades, I forget what company it was. I read an article about it and shorted it, or bought put options, and made a few $1,000s. And essentially was like not that different than Astro, who bought the GameStop calls and they exploded and he didn't believe it. So we're not really that different. That's all I'm saying. Antoinette's getting a Bentley. Okay. Yeah, I've never wanted a Lambo, personally. I'm definitely not getting a Lambo. I'm more of a Lexus Acura kind of guy, personally, but that's just me. I don't like maybe an Audi, maybe, but I prefer to go Japanese than German. He did. He moved to Citadel to Florida during COVID-19, so they kept working. It's a motivated man. It's a man with a lot of resources. So yeah. everyone moves to Florida, go see Manny down there. We're getting into some vision board stuff now. I know that's on your vision board. But that's good. It's good to have, you know, those things. But as I said, if it doesn't happen, you know, I tiptoe around this here. If it doesn't happen, you can still, you know, you know, enjoy the whole experience of, right, because after all, isn't it the journey, not the destination? So, my luck, you know, it's like an old man turned 98, he won the lottery and died the next day. I'd be the guy who died the next day, you know? Isn't that ironic? All right. Have a good night and a good week. I'll check in sometime during the week. And we'll see where things are. We'll see where things are. But just to reiterate, my call is, and this is just purely speculation, the market's going to drop precipitously first thing in the morning when the bell, after the bell tomorrow morning. It's going to drop, and then it's going to hit some level. It's going to hit some level, and then there's going to be, if you thought the short squeeze on that one Thursday was big in the market, not AMC, although AMC will affect short covering on AMC as well, but you'll hit a low level somewhere, maybe splitting the difference between where the most recent low was and the low before that, and then you'll have a massive short covering rally that will trap the bears. That's my guess. So we'll see if that happens. And yes, I will go live if there is a MOAS. I'll be sure to go live. So don't worry about that. That's why I said we'll go. You can go see Manny in Florida. Antoinette. You know, this might be that Sunday night wine talking. I think is this that Sunday night wine talking? I don't know. Anyway, I gotta run, guys. Consider joining the Telegram finance chat group if you're not already in there. A lot of the people here are, though, so Antoinette is not. So if you want this kind of fun every day, that's where it's at. But otherwise, I'll check in with you guys next sometime in the middle of the week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. Right? Be good. Have a good one. See you, Model 3 dude. Guys.